Hello and welcome to Stories with Daniel A. Johnson. I am your host, Daniel A. Johnson. When you're starting a YouTube channel, you might, like me, wonder how to grow your channel. To get lots of subscribers and views, there are all these channels around looking to help you grow. But a lot of the advice they give seems irrelevant to you. They recommend choosing a niche with low competition and high search. And yeah, I think if a lot of people are searching for something and you're the only one who can deliver what they're searching for, they'll come to you. But this advice is more relevant for people whose goal is to be a content creator and doesn't really have a plan for what their channel is going to be about. But that's not you. And that's not me. This is an in-depth analysis of my YouTube channel, my process of making videos, why some of my videos failed, and mentally moving on to a new project before you finish the one you're working on, and a few personal struggles that you might relate to as a creative person. I think there are things that you can learn from my analysis of why some of my videos failed, and let's be honest, none of my videos have succeeded. First, a little bit about me and my situation and why you, yes you specifically, should listen to me. I'm an actor who graduated LIPA in 2022 with a foundation certificate. I thought I could use that to at the very least pick up a few acting jobs, and I'm sure some people could. My goal, become a working actor, to get to spend my time being creative and do what I'm passionate about, because what I'm doing right now to earn money is so insanely draining, and it's been like that for way too long. There are so many things that I could say about my job, but that's not what this video is about. So why am I not a working actor? I have a big disadvantage when it comes to auditions. The most common jobs available for actors like me is commercials, and to be honest, I'm a little bit shitty looking. And in a TV series I could play a shitty looking character, so that wouldn't be a big problem there. But for commercials, probably more than any other job, you need to look good, because you're trying to sell a product, and shitty looking people don't sell products. Is that my only problem? Probably not. Maybe I'm just not right for the roles that I've auditioned for so far, or they've all gone to more experienced actors. I feel like I have to be really talented or deliver the best self-tape in the world to even be considered for the smallest part. It's probably not true, but that's how my mind works a lot of times. I feel like there's a lack of opportunity for people like me who doesn't have a bachelor's degree in acting but still want to act. As of right now, I've got one credit. It's an internal work safety commercial for hard labor businesses, so it's not the most visible credit in the world. I've talked about this credit more in detail in my video, my first acting job. Go watch it after this one if you want. So I decided to start this YouTube project. My teachers at LIPA would often say, create your own work, and I've been thinking about how I could do that, and this channel is what I came up with. Storytelling seems safe, and it's kind of a perfect media for my particular skill set. I've got a year of acting where we also had storytelling sessions, and I've got a year of drama and theatre where we learned how to make theatre. A lot of what I've learned I've applied to the videos that I've made. For example, using music to sell jokes, tell the viewers how to feel or where the setting takes place, and using sound effects to build the atmosphere. Whether or not I'm good at it, the views and the subscribers would suggest not, but I'm still experimenting. That's at least what I tell myself to stay motivated, and each project that I release is a little bit different than the one prior to it, so I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. I bet the algorithm loves that. Now, this is what you should be doing in the beginning, try and work out what your viewers want from you. In my case, it's not me. When I started this channel, I knew that I wanted to upload a video once a week, or rather I had to. Every other week didn't seem often enough. And having a job on top of this project makes it so that every day isn't feasible, and I can't do these projects that often. I think a week to work on these projects might be a little bit too short, to be honest. Even 2 weeks is a little bit too short. It takes time to write the scripts and do the voiceover, so I've been thinking about changing my schedule. This was supposed to be a creative outlet, and I haven't treated it like that. It kind of has become its own sort of stress, and it stems from me so desperately wanting to get out of the situation I'm currently in. And every video I pump out is kind of a chance for me to get noticed, and might lead to a job that I want. So I might reevaluate how I approach things with this channel. I also do this with auditions. It's normal to get nervous with auditions, but succeeding becomes too important for me, to the point that I struggle to focus. I have gone to auditions that have gone extremely well. There was this one where the casting director and the older actors complimented me on my performance after, but I still didn't end up getting the job. For this job in particular, the reason I didn't get it, I think, is that the main actress in this film was in her mid-40s, might have even been close to 50, and we were supposed to be this group of parents who grew up together. I can't pull off 40, I can barely pull off 30, so it would have ended up looking weird with me and a bunch of 40 to 50 year olds supposedly having grown up together. I mean, they could have made it work. Angelina Jolie did play Colin Farrell's mother in Alexander the Great. Jolie is born in 75, Farrell is born in 76. All I'm saying is, if they really wanted to, they could have made it work. So before my first upload, I decided to have a few projects ready to go. And this is something a lot of people recommend, and I think it's excellent advice. It allows you some breathing room in your first week of your YouTube channel. You have your next video or next few videos ready to go, and you've got plenty of time to work on the video that is going up to your channel in a few weeks or even a month in the future if you prepared a lot of projects, and if something comes up, you got your next video ready to go. There are a few small issues with this. If one of your videos bombs, gets way less views than you thought it would, it's really hard to just sit on the next video, especially if it's something that you're really happy with, and not just upload it straight away, because that video might be the one. Sorry guys, my last video was bad, I hated it more than you guys, I'm not weird. Here's a better video, dang it, it also bombed, and now I've got nothing for the next week, and I don't feel like working on more videos. Bye YouTube! So I started with 5 projects. I wanted an introduction video, a story, a series, and an accompanying video to the series. That was a video I felt like I had to make because of the nature of the series. And it's not great feeling like you have to make a video, and that made it really hard to work on. But then I was like, everything goes in this video, and I can be as experimental as I want. So if you're ever in a position where you're making a video that you feel like you have to make, treat it as a project where you can experiment as much as you want and throw everything at the wall. I think this is how Tomska makes his ads. Take this advice with a grain of salt. If the video that you have to make is an apology video, it might be best to gather 2 of your friends and sit on the couch together and maybe cry a little, beg for money, make it very clear that you're reading from a script and that you're not being genuine, create a song and try to sell that song. What's most important is that you're not going to change who you are just because people find out that you're a shitty person. Why change a formula that just works? If you were paying attention, you might have noticed that I only brought up 4 projects before I went on a tangent. The last project was a short that ended up being longer than 1 minute. So I had to split it into 2 shorts, and that short died. It might have been a good idea for me to have even more projects ready, because I almost ended up missing my schedule on one of my videos. I had to do some recording after a shift, something that I told myself that I wasn't going to do when I started this channel. If I had decided that I needed to finish more projects before my first upload, I would probably still be working on videos, not having uploaded a single one. Your videos could always be better. There is always something that you could change, something that you wish you'd done differently. Maybe people will even point out the things that you'd wish you'd done differently and tell you this is how you should have done it, and that's the way you wanted to do it if you had done it differently. But that is always going to be the case. You're never going to be completely satisfied with your videos, and you're just gonna have to accept that. And it's something about uploading that makes the project feel more real. So you need to put a deadline on yourself and give yourself a max amount of projects that you need to finish before your first upload. My max was 5. I worked on these 5 videos at the same time. They most likely suffer from the same mistakes, having too long intros, similar sound, voice style, narration, things that might not resonate with people that I could have worked on with new projects if someone had pointed it out. If you've made, let's say, 10 videos and someone points out an element in your videos that doesn't work, and you know that that element is present in all your other videos, you've uploaded 2 of them, your schedule is once a week, what do you do with the remaining 8 videos? Re-edit them, delete them, or just upload them as they are? Uploading gives you motivation. Maybe one of your videos does better than expected, you might get some comments. They might tell you that your videos are pure garbage and that you should quit YouTube immediately, and that is some good advice that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. That you might apply to the next video. This is why I'm leaving YouTube. Working on these 5 videos at the same time also meant that I struggled to keep focus on one video at a time. I would work on one video one day, and then in the next video the next day, and then back to the one I was working on before, and maybe a third one the same day. I was also planning to use a 7-day free trial on Premiere Pro to edit my videos, buy it and then spend a few days editing all of them. Thankfully I ended up throwing one of my videos into another editor that was installed on my PC, and it was easy to work with, and I ended up editing the whole video. If I had gone with my Premiere Pro plan, I might have ended up cancelling the whole YouTube project. So the way I work on this channel is that by the time one video goes live, Sunday 12 PM, I've already started work on the next video. I've most likely finished the script, started voicing. If I'm really efficient, I might already be editing the next video. So when one of my videos inevitably bumps, I'm too far deep into the next video to give it up. And who knows, maybe that's the video that finally ends up getting 50 views. Or maybe I might be so bold suggesting that that video will get 60 views, 70 even. Nah, don't be ridiculous, Daniel. Hamper your expectations. This video might not go live at Sunday 12 PM. It's a little bit different than the videos that I posted at that time slot previously. So if it's done by Sunday 12 PM, I might upload it on a different day regardless. I'm not sure what project I'll be working on next. I'm going to be talking about the project in this video, and I'm kind of focused on that project at the moment, so it's a little bit difficult for me to work on other projects. I might even make a dedicated video to that project. This week I've been on a short film workshop, so it's also been a little bit difficult for me to work on this channel. So as I've said, this channel was supposed to be a creative outlet for me. A place where I could do what I wanted to do, where I could cast myself in things, be an actor and a storyteller, and maybe have a small audience. Then I came up with an idea for a more ambitious project. A project that might require some funds. I want to commission art for this project. I want to maybe commission a score, maybe hire some talent, use it to reconnect with some of the people that I went to LIPA with. So my goal for this channel kind of shifted from this is my creative outlet to I want to create an audience for this project. To put things into perspective, this project was supposed to go live after the tree, the box and the horse. That obviously didn't happen. The next video that ended up going live was the research station. I wasn't quite done with the AI collaborative storytelling series. There were still some things that I wanted to test, and my views and subscribers weren't quite where I wanted them to be for this more ambitious project. And I'm not sure where I want them to be. Monetization obviously would make things easier, as I could put aside some money this channel makes to fund this project. Am I actively hurting my channel by not working on my best videos? Maybe. Or maybe it would have been a mistake to work on this project right after the tree, the box and the horse. There are still many things that I needed to test when it comes to editing and soundscape, and I also want to make a similar video to this project to test things out at a smaller scale, but I'm still gonna have to come up with an idea for that video because I don't want to just make anything. I might not ever get this channel to where I wanted to be for this project. I've been thinking about doing it in a different way than I initially planned, at least for the first chapter and maybe for the second chapter, and then release a refined version of it when the second/third chapter goes live. But as for the third chapter, I'm going to introduce a female character, and I don't want to do that character myself. I don't want to use a voice filter for it. I did it for Jack McTavish and well, it turned out okay for some of the dialogue, but it was difficult and not worth it. For this project, I've also been thinking about doing some viewer auditions for those who are interested, so stay tuned for that. So from uploading my first video in the AI collaborative storytelling series, I felt like I had this momentum building. The first video in the series, Detective Jack McTavish, The Girl and the In-Between, did better than my two prior videos. I think it climbed up to like 20 views, while the other two were sitting around 10 to 14. And then I uploaded The Tree, the Box and the Horse, and yes, you are correct, Greg, the title is a parody of Narnia. It did a little bit worse than Jack McTavish, but it grew a lot faster, so it seemed that at least 20 people were liking what I was doing. Jack McTavish had at this point climbed up to like 30 views. Then came The Research Station. It's a horror story, and horror seemed to do pretty well on YouTube, though it is an oversaturated category. So I was excited for that one. But whilst I was working on it, something happened at work that meant that I had a lot less time to work on it, and I didn't handle that well, to be honest. And then I did manage to release it on schedule. I had the video ready to go to explain why my next video was going to be late. Don't know if I needed it, but I wanted to have at least something going up. That thankfully never ended up going up. I did use the opportunity to talk a little bit about my channel, and I've used parts of it in this video. Now let's talk about my videos that failed. The Research Station, my last video that at least kept the momentum, climbed up pretty fast to 30 views, and then it got up to like 40 views. My videos weren't getting a massive amount of views, but it seemed to be some progression. Then came For Gary. That one did worse than The Research Station. So why? Why did it do worse? I had a feeling that it was going to do worse when I came up with the idea. A partially AI written football comedy where I had decided that it was the AI's job to be funny. And I tried to mitigate how terrible it would get by designing the setting for it myself, and it might have hurt it more than it helped. For Gary doesn't have an audience. Football fans would probably rather watch football. People who love comedy would probably watch something else, maybe even Ted Lasso. But even though I had a sneaking feeling this video was going to struggle, I tried my best to make it work. I tried to make you feel like you're watching a football match with how I did the narration, and I don't know if that was the right choice. It definitely wasn't the right choice for my neighbours, as football narration can be quite loud. And it had to be, or it wouldn't sound right. Tips for voice acting: pretending to yell is going to sound like you're pretending to yell. But I got to try some stuff with For Gary. I got to experiment, so it wasn't a complete waste of time. Then I uploaded my first acting job. I thought that this video might pique the interest of some people. I did not take into consideration that nobody knows who I am, and that it's therefore unlikely that anyone would care about my first acting job. This is a video that might do better if I build a larger audience, or I become at least a little bit known, or if I had actually been in something that you could watch. And then came a project that I thought would get me back on track. A Lot of Millionaires Folly. Originally, Lot of Millionaires aren't like other millionaires. A convoluted title, a reference to a slogan that most people wouldn't be familiar with, a dark monologue about an incel suffering from the Dunning-Kruger effect that is using his winnings to take revenge on people who he thinks have wronged him. I think this video turned out pretty well. I had a lot of fun making it, seeing how twisted I could make this person, making him feel very big and confident when he was selecting his targets, his underlying narcissism where he was very bothered about being perceived as stupid. The most fun I had with this was the ending where I made him sound as pathetic as I possibly could, when his stupidity and overconfidence inevitably gets him killed. Spoiler alert. But I kind of understand why it failed. The subject matter was very dark, it's delivered from the perspective of the guy ordering the hits. It contains cursing, something that I really don't think you should be punished for. Like, why include a box where you have to select this video is made for kids and then punish creators for cursing? That doesn't make any sense. Trying to create characters that feel real with this limitation is difficult because people curse in their everyday speech. And this, YouTube, is why you'll never compete with Netflix, HBO and Disney Plus as a platform where people can watch scripted TV. You're limiting what creators can do and what we can talk about. I understand kind of why it's like this. There are terrible people out there that are just ruining things for everybody. People targeting kids with videos meant to traumatize them or spreading misinformation. There is still a lot of misinformation on YouTube spreading like wildfire because misinformation is difficult to crack down on, but I wish there was a more balanced approach of cracking down on bad actors and not punishing people for tackling serious topics, debunking disinformation, or simply cursing. So when I checked in on this video a few hours after it went up, I saw that I had only gotten 11 impressions, when usually at this point my videos would get around 400 impressions or close to 1,000, so I knew something was up. There might have been other factors at play. I had just ended a series on my channel. YouTube might have decided that I make bad videos that are not keeping people on the platform. Maybe people seeing my videos cause them to go and delete the YouTube app from the phone, or at least try to if you're on Android. So I felt a little bit deflated after having my 3 last videos fail. I was already working on my next project. I had foreshadowed in For Gary. As of writing this, that project has gone live. It doesn't seem to be doing well. It has at this very moment 13 views and 137 impressions. It does contain cursing, so that might have killed it. When I wrote the script for this video, I wanted to talk about something that happened while I was working on one of my videos. My first read through of any of my scripts are usually terrible. I force my way through the script, only trying to not mispronounce words or slur my way through sentences. If I get through the sentences without making a mistake, I move on. Just having done it once makes it easier to work with. Then the day after or a few days after, I open the recording, listen through it, redo lines if there are lines, target areas that I struggle with, go and shout a few lines if I have to do that. Usually there are parts of the original recording that is good enough to use. And then when I'm happy with it, I edit it upload it and schedule it. But during this project, I for the first time was trying to figure out what to do for my next video. Usually before starting work on a video, I have my next video planned and the way I'm gonna do it. But on this video, I was stuck between two different unfinished projects that were more unfinished than any of the previous projects I've worked on. By the time this video goes live, the project I decided on has been up for 2 weeks. I started to think about how to do this project. I had an unfinished script sitting in a document that I wanted to do something with. This was a project that I started a very long time ago, and it was something that I knew that at some point I wanted to work on when I started my YouTube project. But I wasn't sure how to do it, so I started to work on the script, started planning out how I would deliver it, and then I got really excited about it, thinking about all the things that I could do with it, and I mentally moved on to this project before finishing the one that I was already working on. And it made it really hard for me to sit down and work on my current project that I was less excited about. So what can be the takeaway here? If you're working on a project, you should give it 100% of your attention to make it as good as you can. But when your schedule is once a week or every day, it's almost inevitable that you're going to work on a project, maybe one that you're not too excited about or didn't turn out the way you wanted, and then you're starting to work on your next project because you want to, at the very least, know what you're doing next. If you're doing YouTube full-time, this might be less of a problem because you've got more time in your week to work on projects. But for people who are doing YouTube and have a different job as well, we have very little time to work out our projects. Maybe posting a video once a week isn't really feasible for us. What advice that I can give is think about what excites you about this new project and try and see if you can insert that into the video that you're working on. Or maybe shelve the project that you're working on and start working on the project that you're more excited about. This was something that I didn't do, but if I ever find myself in this situation again, I'll take my own advice. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel A. Johnson. You're on the YouTube channel Stories with Daniel A. Johnson. Stick around, watch my other videos. The beginning of the fall is a video that I'm very proud of, and not nearly many enough have watched it, so go and watch it.